Okay, well, welcome back. We're talking about how to use the string thing inside Java. Inside the designer, it's pretty simple, but inside Java, it's got a few extra little things you have to do. So let's just run this and make sure it works. And sure enough, it says Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Kind of cool. All right, cool beans. Now let's say I just wanted to be able to extract it and do something with it. I don't know what. So I don't know, I'm going to say string jump is equal to, and I just want to be able to pull that guy out so I can play with it for something. And so there's a thing called GetString. Okay, so GetString is the technique. GetString. And then I could go in there and say r dot string dot poem. Dang it. I cannot type. There. Okay, so now I've pulled it out just as a normal thing like string, so now I can mess with it. Okay, cool. So, using it this way as just with an identifier, that works. I can pull it out here and set it, whatever. There's another one called getStringArray. So, one of the things you could store in the strings guy is a string array. Now we did this when we were doing the spinner. Remember, we stored an array inside the strings guy. So if I wanted to be able to pull that back into some sort of a string array, that'd be the way that would work. Cool. Okay, so one more time. Why are we doing all this? Yeah, it's because I can add languages after the fact, and I don't have to change my application at all. Now that is just pretty doggone slick. Look at it from this perspective. Let's say you had a team of programmers, and then you had one poor slob who is going to be your translator, and he's sending these things off to translators and getting it all back. That person doesn't have to have access to the source code at all. They don't need to know how it works. Nothing. They're not programmers. They're they're hired for their linguistic abilities, right? Not for their programming abilities, and yet they can still go in and tweak your application by adding a language to it. That's pretty doggone cool. That's hard to do if they have to go into source code and say, wait a minute, this string right here needs to be changed, right? I don't want a non-programmer running around making changes inside my application. No way. Okay, making sense? Good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do just a naked dialog box. This is not really in the book, but I use this a lot. I use this for like an error message kind of a thing. So we're going to do one of these things. So I'm going to go here and build me a method that I'm going to pretend like it's going to be like an error message guy. So I'm going to call mine, I don't know, AlertDialog. So here we go. I'm going to say private void and whatever you want to call this guy. How about, yeah. Okay. AlertDialog. And then I'm going to pass to it whatever error message I want this thing to be, right? So how about error message? Okay, so now what I've done, I've got it set up so that I'm going to create me a dialog, but I'm not going to do a fragment thing because I don't need the fragments full-blown doodad, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and build me an AlertDialog. So an AlertDialog, we're going to call it builder, and I'm just like before. I'm going to call this time. I'll call mine dialog is equal to new alert builder, and I'm just going to say this is the context, and that's it. Nothing else. Now this tells me who the parent is, and it's important whenever you have a child thing. In this case, like sort of like an activity, but a child. Can I say the word window? A child window. It has to know where the parent is, because if the parent dies for some reason or gets shut down, well then it has to be able to notify its children that it needs to be shut down. So we always have to tell it how to get there. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here and say, what do you want this thing to say? So I'm going to say set message, and then I'm going to call mine. The message is going to be what you've passed to it. The error message. And then maybe I'm going to go ahead and make this one look kind of cool. I'm going to go ahead and do a set title. And so the set title is going to be error. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a dialog. I mean, why not? Let's do this right. Set icon attribute. Now this one's kind of weird because the default one is not very pretty. So I'm going to do one slightly different. So I'm going to say Android.r.attribute alert dialog icon. Oh, what is attribute? Yeah, attribute is from the theme. So if you have a particular theme, it's going to go to the theme and figure it out. So the attribute guy isn't necessarily telling you what 100% sure what that icon is going to be. It's going to say, I want you to go to the theme and you tell me what it's going to be. So in other words, I don't know, really. I'm waiting for the theme to tell me that. Okay, and so now I need a positive button. So let's go ahead and create me a set positive. And so I'm going to say OK as the thing, but I'm going to, for the event handler, I'm just going to type null because I don't really care. I'm not doing anything when it happens. All I want it to do is dismiss the window. That's it. Well, it does that automatically. I don't actually have to do anything to make that part happen. Okay, so now I do alert dialog. This guy. So I'm going to create me a brand new guy. I don't know, alert is equal to dialog create. So that creates the guy, and now I need to run the guy, right? Alert.show. Cool. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, I guess I really need another button, don't I, to make this thing make any sense whatsoever. So let me go down to here, and let's go grab me yet another button. Okay, this is going to be in error. So this is going to have the error message pop up. Cool. All right. So let's go back to here and let's build us another guy. Oh, I didn't actually write the guy, did I? Oh well, I'll fix that in a minute. Void display error. Okay, so to make this happen, all I basically have to do is say alert dialog and then what you want it to say. Okay, I didn't wire the event handler, so let me go down and fix that. If you do this in the right order, isn't that kind of cool? You don't have to type. That's pretty wild. All right, let's just run this and make sure it works. Okay, if I hit error message, then boink, I get this thing that pops up. I get a cool little icon. I get the word error, and then this custom message that you just did it at runtime, not at design time. What do you want it to say? And then the OK button, and you hit OK. Okay, I'm just kind of curious, guys. What happens if I rotate the screen? Is this going to survive rotation? That's kind of weird, isn't it? So, what were they talking about with why a fragment dialog is better than a regular dialog? You might want to add that to the list of things they said in the book, huh? Okay? A fragment would, if it was done using the fragment thing, it would have survived. But not with just a plain old alert guy. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing that's not in the book at all. And that is we're going to create us a brand new activity. And you might think, wait, what are you talking about? Well, yes, you can add a second activity. No problem at all. A single application can have multiple activities. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab me and I'm going to say I'd like a new. And then where do I have a new activity? And you remember how we start with just kind of a blank activity, empty activity? That's what I'm gonna do again, because I don't like those other guys. And so, what do you want to call this thing? I'm gonna go ahead and call it help. Okay, that sounds good, right? Something. And so remember, it says, hey, would you like me to generate a layout file? I definitely would. And so it's going to be called activity help for the layout. Cool. All right. So here I am looking at another set of activity. The set of activity main is now activity help, right? And so I can go in here and add some stuff, right? Same old, same old. So for example, let's go to the activity help guy and let's add us a, since this is, I'm going to add a, sorry. Let me get rid of that dang constraint. So give me just a second to whack that guy. So I'm going to delete activity help. And then I'm going to turn right around and create me a brand new activity help. Got to make dang sure you remember all this stuff. Because if you've got the name wrong, it is definitely going to piss off the computer. Okay, so now that I got that, I'm going to grab a scroll view and drop him onto here. And then I'm going to go grab me a multi-line text file and drop him onto here. And then I'm going to tweak my multi-line text file so to always just kind of match the full thing. So the scroll view, what I was trying to do is go in here and say match parent, but that's not really going to work because of the way the scroll view is worked. But anyway, so what I've done is I put a text line, multi-line text edit inside a scroll view. So when I got this guy, I'll be able to scroll it, and then I can just put some text in here, right? Now, again, the most appropriate way to do this would be to go in and, do it with the XML file, except that's not what I'm going to do right this very second. So always do as I say to do, but not as I do. So I'm going to go down here to text, and I'm going to type in, Mary had a little lamb. Actually, no, let's go ahead and use our poem. I mean, geez, we got it, right? It's not a very big poem, but that's beside the point. Okay, cool. Now, I've got an activity now, and I've got some stuff in there, and it's supposed to show. Now, let's do something a little weird here. Now, it's time for me to switch between one activity and another, really. But there's some tweaking that we need to do to make this thing happen. I'm going to create what's called a menu, okay? So I need to do that on like my original, the one that fires first, the activity main guy. I need to have a menu that I can launch the other guy. I mean, yes, you could do this with a button, but it kind of sort of makes sense for like having a menu so you can switch back and forth between the views. It kind of sort of makes sense. Okay, so I need to go back to activity main, okay? And inside my activity main guy, I need to create me a menu. Now, menus are created from resources, right? That's kind of sort of simple. So I need to go in here and so where would menus be if I wanted to create me a menu? Would you think it's going to be under drawable or layout or bitmap or values? I mean, where the heck is this guy? Well, I tell you what, if you don't know, why don't we just click on resources and say I want a new, and then go down to here and say I want a new menu. And you're thinking, where the heck is this guy? How come I don't see a resource? I don't have one for menu. To tell you the truth, I really don't know why that's not in here. Seriously. It seems like to me that menu ought to be one of those typical things that shows up. But hey, whatever, right? So I'm just going to go here and say I want a resource file, okay? And I'm going to stop right here and, there's menu, and I'm going to let it figure out where it wants to go, but after the commercial break.